And now it is my honor to introduce Cornell's 14th president, Professor of Computer Science, Information Science, and Linguistics, Martha E. Pollack.
So class of 2021, how's everybody feeling? Great, and it's not raining. It's a little cloudy, but I gotta tell you, I have been to many, many graduations over my life, and no matter what you might think when you first walk in here, it's always sunny on graduation day. So excuse me while I put on my shades. Every time I stand up here in a Cornell cap and gown, I tell a new class of graduates how great it is to be here, how happy I am to see them, and how proud I am of everything they have accomplished. But this year, being here with you in person, it's better than great. I am really, really, really happy to see you, and saying that doesn't even begin to express how it feels to stand here looking out at the great class of 2021 and at the parents, the family, and the friends who have supported you through so much. So graduates, before I say anything else, I want you to follow my directions carefully. This is what I want you to do. This is a football stadium, and it's one that hasn't had any noise this year, none at all. So today, we're gonna start making up from that. Here's what I want you to do. Right now, stand up. Graduates, all stand up. Turn around, face the stands. If you know where your family and friends are, turn towards them, otherwise just turn in the general direction. Now don't do anything else yet. Wait for my instructions. And if you have family and friends who aren't here yet, don't worry, we're gonna get to them in a moment. But right now, in just a minute, we're gonna need everyone's noise. So, on the count of 3, in whatever language you speak at home, whether it's English or Spanish or Yoruba or Hindi or Cayuga or Chinese, whatever language it is, on the count of 3, in that language, I want you to say thank you so loud that they would hear you in the stands even during a tie-breaking touchdown for the Big Red against Harvard. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Now turn around. Don't sit back down yet, just turn around. We were really thrilled that this year we were able at the last minute to let people invite 2 guests. But we know that you have many more family and friends, many more people who you'd like to be here with you at Shelkoff who are instead cheering from afar. So what I want you to do next is look over here to the right. You see that? That's Paul. Paul, wave so they see you. Okay? Paul? Yes, you can say thank you to Paul in a minute. But Paul is operating camera 2, and that's one of the cameras that's bringing the live stream to everyone out there. Everyone you love, everyone you wish you were here, they're right behind Paul. So again, on the count of 3, we're gonna thank them. 1, 2, 3. Great, you may all be seated. Before we go any further, I do want to pause and take a moment to acknowledge the people who are here with us today only in our hearts, the students whose graduation this would have been, and everyone that we've lost over the past year to COVID-19. Thank you. So I've spent a lot of time over the past few months thinking about what I would say when, and sometimes it felt like if, we finally got to this moment, when we all finally put on our caps and gowns to celebrate your extraordinary achievements at Cornell, and especially your extraordinary achievements over the past year. Because a commencement is a milestone. It marks the moment that you cross between student and alum, between one phase of your lives and the next. This hour here at Chillicothe is that liminal space. It's where we stand together on that line between what lies behind and what lies ahead, between the familiar past and the unknown future. This isn't the first time that we've stood there together. 446 days ago, I wrote you an email that I never imagined writing. Like all of you, I had followed the news reports as the coronavirus spread through Asia, through Europe, to the West Coast, onto New York City. On the advice of public health experts and epidemiologists, we had already brought home our study abroad students, and we had limited the size of campus gatherings. But we soon came to realize that this would be not enough. Yet, Cornell, in its 155-year history, through 2 world wars and civil unrest, and yes, more than one previous pandemic, through all of that, Cornell had never closed before. And the decision that in retrospect we now see as inevitable, in that moment, it felt unthinkable. Making that decision, sending that email, meant crossing a line that separated the past we knew and the future we had planned for from a present that was changing every hour and a future that had no map. 446 days ago, you opened an email that you never imagined you would receive. You were sitting in Mann Library or the Duffield Atrium, you were getting a snack, maybe you were heading to a study group meeting, you pulled out your phone to check your email, maybe you got a text from a friend. And in that moment, the world stood still. Campus is shutting down. Classes are closing. They're sending all of us home. It seemed, for a moment, like it might be the end of everything. But the next moment, you looked around and you saw that Cornell was still there. And you were too. You figured out what you needed to do next. What to pack, what to store, where you were going, and how to get there. And when you did get there, what you did was finish your semester. On Zoom and on Canvas, by text message and by FaceTime, somehow you finished it all. You found new ways to be together, to learn and to grow. When you found yourself in an unmapped future, you adapted your course, and you adapted it again and again. But every day, you moved forward. And today, here you are, in caps and gowns at commencement, where you were meant to be all along. The world has become a different place since that moment when, as the song from Hamilton goes, the world turned upside down. But if you know the song, you also know that the world has turned upside down before. Now, I very much hope that this is the last time in your lives that your world will be turned upside down by a pandemic. But I can almost promise you that it will be turned upside down by other things. The email will come, or the text message, or the conversation, or the news report that will draw a new line between what was and what will be, a past you knew, and a future without a map. Or you'll face a decision that whatever path you take will change everything for you, for the people closest to you, or the people that you will be there to lead. And when that happens, the next time your world turns upside down, I want you to remember something. Remember that you have been there before. Remember that you got through it. And remember how. You're here today because 446 days, for all of them, you held each other close, even when it was impossible to do so physically. You held on to the kindness and the support of one another, and you kept moving forward. You're here today because of your commitment and hard work, and because all of the people, your family, your friends, your chosen family and your community, your Cornell faculty and the Cornell staff, all of the people who helped keep you going. And you made it to where you are right now because all of you chose, hour after hour and day after day, to keep Cornell going. As hard as it was, you did what you needed to do. You kept your masks on, and you kept your distance. You kept Outside, you met your friends outside in the Ithaca winter. You met your friends outside in the Ithaca spring, just as cold. You got your vaccines as soon as you could. You showed up for your surveillance tests, and some of you spent some time in the Statler. You can explain that to your parents afterwards. You did your daily check, and you checked in on each other. You chose day after day and hour after hour to put community first. And of all of the countless decisions that have kept Cornell safe and healthy and moving forward, of all of the data and the expertise that went into these last 446 days, your decisions were the ones that mattered most. Nothing I did in Day Hall, no decision, no policy, no investment, nothing could have taken the place of a community willing to work together for its shared well-being. Of everything you've learned in your time at Cornell and everything you will take with you from here, that may well be the most important lesson of all. And it's a lesson that in every way is consonant with the ethos and the values of Cornell. A Cornell education has always been designed to do much more than teach its students the knowledge they'll need to succeed in their careers. It's designed to teach you how to live and how to thrive in a changing world. And today, perhaps more than ever, our changing world demands much more than any specific set of knowledge. It demands the ability to communicate across difference and to appreciate different points of view. The willingness to tackle big, thorny problems and to find answers to questions that were never in a textbook. To learn not just what's on the next text, but to learn how to learn throughout a lifetime as the world and what there is to know about it evolves. The world we live in now is different than it was when you arrived at Cornell, and it will change much more in the years ahead. And the biggest challenges we face now as a society and a planet will demand of you everything you've learned here, and especially everything you've learned in this last year. They'll demand not just knowledge, but a commitment to truth. Not just science, but the ability to listen to others and to communicate what you know. The world that lies ahead will demand of you everything you learned inside the classroom and outside of it. Both the expertise you came for, but also the creativity and the courage and the ability to work together, skills that you gained along the way. And it will demand of all of us the commitment to do exactly what you've done here at Cornell. Make the hard decisions that enable all of us to move forward. Make the personal sacrifices that enable your community to thrive. And most of all, be kind. Be kind, knowing that doing so could make all the difference in the world to someone else. This year has taught you the hardest, most important thing of all, how to stand back up when the world turns upside down. You do that by reaching out to help each other. I am so inexpressibly proud of every single one of you, of what you've accomplished here as individuals and together, of the ways you've brought the ethos and the values of Cornell to life, and of the way you've come together to get us here today, to this point in Shelkoff. Graduates, congratulations. When the pandemic is over, come back often, come back to your reunions, spend more time with us in Ithaca. I look forward to seeing you. Cornell will always be a part of you, just as you, the extraordinary class of 2021, will always be a part of Cornell.